dive right into the oscillators. And as I go, I want to be clear about one thing. Okay, we have a really interesting interface here, and I'm going to show you how it works. But I want you to know, right here at the bottom, there's a capacitance keyboard. But I have a MIDI keyboard connected to the Uno that I'm going to be using to play. So because my fingers are more keyboard based than capacitance touch based, but I want you to know you could be playing everything I'm playing on this capacitive keyboard, and you'll be able to tell what I'm playing when I'm playing in the right octave because you'll see the lights as you probably just did. So that'll be fun. Of course, with the MIDI keyboard, I could get the heck out of this particular octave, and then you won't see any lights because of what setting the keyboard is currently set to, but we will also demonstrate how you can change the octave of the keyboard as we do this demonstration. Okay, I'm going to dive right in with the oscillators right now. This is a small synthesizer, and it has a very straightforward interface, and we're about to see. You have the ability to control functionality, synthesizer functionality, like you would on any synthesizer, but it's all within this very compact and very immediate grid-like interface. So we're going to talk about the oscillators. There are two oscillators, so let's keep that in mind. But right now, as I typically do in a demonstration, I have this synthesizer set to a single sawtooth wave, unfiltered, unenveloped, un-LFO'd, so that we can basically hear what everything does as we do it. So this is the sawtooth waveform of the Uno. But the cool thing about the Uno is that it has multiple waveforms and they are continuously variable. So not only do you have traditional waveforms like triangle, square, and sawtooth, you also have the waveforms that exist between those waveforms, so you can get wave shapes of a variety of shape. So the way to deal with that is you press oscillator, which we have already pressed here. And then this first knob that is marked wave, we're going to turn that all the way to the left, and you're going to see TR1, which is triangle 1. So it has a decent range. This is the highest. And we can go all the way down to the clicks, so that's super cool. But it's a great sounding triangle. It has kind of a buzzy edge to it. And if we wanted to switch to the sawtooth, we would turn it to the right. But as we're headed towards the sawtooth, it's going to tell you when you're about halfway between. You can see the triangle, sawtooth, you're in the midpoint. So this timbre we're hearing right now is somewhere between sawtooth and triangle. Once we get to sawtooth, you'll see that, which is its way of saying saw. And that is a nice analog sounding saw. And we can keep going, and we're between saw and square right now. Now we're right into the square wave of the Uno. Yeah, there is no lack of low end in this synthesizer, as you can hear. Nice wave shape there. Now the thing that happens as we continue to turn right after square is we're going to get into a pulse width situation where we adjust the width of that square. Then we get all the way to a 90% pulse. So you can do your own pulse width modulation. I don't think we have that functionality on the synthesizer, but you are capable of doing it manually with your hand if you'd like. And it sounds really good doing it. Okay, so then next, if I were just to start grabbing this knob, we would have the same wave shape manipulation happening, same wave shaping happening with Oscillator 2, which we can't hear yet. We're going to get to Oscillator 2, but it is the same functionality that we just saw, and it sounds the same as well. So we're going to skip on to the tuning section, which is Tune 1, Oscillator 1's tuning. So we're going to turn it to the center, which is 0. If I can get it there. Now, they have a really novel approach in regard to this tuning. As you turn to the right or to the left, first you go through 100 cents. So you can do detuning. You can tune the oscillators to each other. You could detune them to create depth and chorusing between them. And then after these sense settings, we get into actual intervals, semitones, steps. So here's a demonstration of that. So it goes in both directions. So you basically have an octave. You can go down an octave or up an octave, which gives it a 2-octave range. And that's a really, really great way to put two different functionalities in a single knob. And you get used to it super quickly, and it allows you to create different settings very immediately. We also have Tune 2, which does the same thing for Oscillator 2. Okay, so Mark, let's listen to Oscillator 2 too. How about that? Now, to get to Oscillator 2, here's what we're going to do. If you come over here to, first of all, I want to point out that on the oscillator section, you'll see these letters down below that are kind of a darker gray. Those are accessible by following this instruction right here. Hold OSC. All right, oscillator. Now we see that the oscillator light is blinking after I've held it. These knobs have now changed functionality. They are the levels for the two different oscillators, and for noise, we also have noise. Let's have a listen to the noise real quick. We'll turn the volume up. It's an interesting noise timbre. I really like it. I think they chose it because it has more percussive sort of nature. I don't think this is white noise. I think it's a more suitable noise for cool percussive sounds, which is awesome. We can turn that down. Let's turn up both oscillators. All of a sudden you can hear that chorusing effect, which means that the two oscillators, even though they're tuned to the same note, are slightly out of tune with each other to a slight degree, which is what you want in analog. That's where the analog sound comes from. Nicely variable oscillators. Although these are really close in tune, which gives it kind of a sync sound almost. Now if we press the oscillator button one more time, we can start messing with waves. I'm going to leave oscillator 1 on saw. I'm going to put oscillator 2 on square. Now we can start messing with tuning. And of course, you can get any number of variations setting these knobs to different wave shapes. And if you want to go back and set their amplitude, you can just hold that. So that is really immediate and really fun, really simple. And don't forget, you can also do, different interval tunings. And because you have a mixer and you have the wave shape control, you pretty much have the ability to do all the things that you would typically do with a synthesizer that was much larger and probably more expensive. So those are the oscillators in the IK Multimedia Uno synth.